So day one of the BRICS Summit in Kazan has ended, and there's not that much to report. The meetings of the heads of state and government have been off the record, and leaders were still arriving until this evening. Tomorrow is really going to be the big day. But I can tell you what I've learned from speaking with many of the other international participants who are here to discuss the conference, including a man from India, several people from Africa, and several Russians as well. What we heard from the dignitaries, first off, was really exemplified by what Dilma Rousseff had to say about the need for a new financial architecture, and also what was said by President Modi about the need for a peaceful resolution of the Ukraine crisis. He offered India's services in helping to negotiate such a conclusion. What we learned from other nations is that the BRICS is seen not as being like NATO, not as being a military alliance, but really being an economic grouping more akin to the G7. So there's a lot of opportunity that countries in Africa in particular that we spoke to had to say about how an end of colonialism and a new era of development can really become possible if the insistence of the Anglo-American financial powers on asserting dominance is broken. And that's really the hopeful message that came across from many of the people, at least that I spoke with today. I also spoke with some people from the legacy media in the United States, in Europe, who said that this was really all window dressing, that Vladimir Putin is deeply unpopular, totally isolated in the world, and the fact that all these people are coming is just part of his effort to show that he is not isolated. It's kind of hard to miss the point that majorly, but they managed to do that. I think it just shows the bankruptcy of the kind of thinking in the transatlantic world and how new ideas are needed. Ideas that countries like the United States should be joining and working with and not opposing. The greatest traditions of the United States call for precisely the kind of development that the world is on the cusp of today. Jason Ross, EIR News, Kazan, Russia.